Hi everyone, hope you're all doing great. With me today is someone who should require no introduction, hopefully. Probably all know about him. But let's just say hello to everyone in the chat and then get to talking about you. So, hi Charlene, hi Cross from Campaign Terrain, Earthman Brick, good to see you. And Tirius, nice to see you too, sir. Or ma'am, I have no idea. Lawrence Davies, Tina Martins, and of course, Steven's cat Poppy. Hope you're all doing great. So, Bill, who's our sponsor for today?
Sponsor. It's definitely not Raid Shadow Legends. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they haven't gotten to us yet.
We'll say it's graphics medium chipboard.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You've kind of become the prophet of chipboard over time.
Oh yeah. Yep. Manna from heaven.
So, I think we've all known you for a very long time from your channel, and I think I mentioned earlier that you were one of the main inspirations that got me back into crafting. But
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
sorry, I was going to tell you, but we don't really know much about you, the person. So, would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
Okay, sure. First of all, I just want to apologize again that I've had to reschedule on you twice.
Ah, it's okay, man.
So I'm glad to finally be here. I know I've been hard to deal with. Um, yeah, so I am married. I have two kids. We live in Maryland in the US. I'm a nuclear engineer, and that's my day job as well. So the whole crafting and the hobby thing is moonlighting only in the weekends. Uh, and I have no designs of ever going full-time YouTube, but yeah, that's about it.
So, how did you get into gaming and crafting? Was that something recent, something that you've been that you grew up with? How'd that go?
I've played D&D since I was like 12 years old. I had a cousin who got me into it. And actually, one of his characters' names from a sheet I stole from his file cabinet in his basement was Wylock. That's where the name came from.
All right.
And I didn't really realize that until just a couple years ago when he asked me about it. I guess it just, subconsciously stayed back there for 20 years and then it became a thing. But
Yeah,
uh,
it is a cool name. So I can see
yeah,
why that stuck around.
yeah. So he got me into it, and then it was about 8 years ago when I found Scotty's channel, like so many of us did. That I looked into the crafting side of it to supplement at the tabletop.
Okay, and I mean, what did you build originally, kind of thing?
First stuff I built,
Uh-huh.
it was that crumpled up paper doused with hot glue, making a rock arch that he did. That was the first thing I made. The second was a purple worm, and then
Okay.
I started making some the first version of my 2.5-inch tiles. I was all over one fever dream of a week.
What? All that stuff in 1 week?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. No kids yet. Wife was out of town, and I was just, you know, whenever anyone discovers this sub hobby, I think they go through that initial like fever pitch excitement, and yeah, I was at it for like 7 days straight.
That's a hell of a crafting bender.
Yeah, bender. That's the word. Bender. Yep. That's what it was.
Okay, and how do you start to branch out into designing your own stuff after that? How did it go?
Geez, I can't. Well, you mean like my ideas in the channel,
Uh,
or
more before you started the channel and eventually how you started the channel.
um, well, I don't. There's really not much on my channel that's my ideas. A lot, 99% of it is rehashing of other ideas of my own style. I so after watching his, I don't know, a couple months or so before I thought to start uh, putting my thoughts out there. the 1.25 inch grid thing was bothering me as I was making tiles, and so that was my first video, and I thought I'd put it out there, and it got a response. So somehow I kept momentum and was able to keep making videos. It didn't happen like consciously. It was a spur of the moment thing to decide to
Right.
make a video for YouTube. It was totally spur of the moment, and um I don't know, right place, right time, providence, whatever. And you could tell because those earlier videos are rough. I didn't know anything about video editing. I had Windows Movie Maker, and uh, I was using my phone. I didn't even have a camcorder yet, so I was learning everything from scratch.
Yeah, I think Windows Move Maker was what I started with too. It works, but kind of not really. You can get
Yeah,
things done with it, but nothing fancy.
yeah, exactly.
Second, I'm trying to get the chat going on here. And you mentioned you're in engineering. Yeah, does that affect how you design your stuff? Because I talked to some engineers before who are also crafters, and they tend to keep the same mindset when they're doing their stuff.
Yeah, I whenever I make something, I make it with reproducibility in mind.
Okay.
Uh, Part of that is modularity, and part is just I don't know if I ever want to make another one. So I try to keep things as simple and as elegant as possible. Like there's a there's a common misconception about how engineers will over design and overcomplicate things, but real it's the opposite. Engineers will you take everything away you can until there's nothing left to take away. Then you've got the most elegant solution. So my methods are real simple. I haven't really progressed that much as far as like producing a more like a Luke Towen quality or professional quality terrain. Um, but it's been about simplicity and functionality.
Yeah, I mean, I'd call it efficiency. I mean, your
Yeah,
style isn't really about photorealism, but it's about getting things done in a way that they will work.
and yeah, reproducibility.
Hi, Dungeon Matron, or as we call her now, Lisa,
Oh, Lisa.
the Herald of
Yep.
the Apocalypse. I remember Bill opening his episodes by chugging a beer in the early days.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, that was that first week where I was just here by myself.
Okay, literally a situation where you were left unattended.
Hmm. Yep.
Okay, Buckwinkle, will you do another complete module build?
So not in the way that I've been doing it. What I'm thinking is instead of having a complete build all at once on the table, I'll have all my modular assets that I've been putting together in the past few months, and I'll be able to lay out and film one room at a time and talk through it and read the module like I do in the video. But that'll be a lot less work for me. It'll be a lot quicker to produce because I'm laying out one room at a time. I can even do it right here. So my workbench is right next to me, as opposed to having to go out to the table or the garage.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that
yeah,
also allows me to do huge. I could do undermountain. It would take 10 years, but I could go one room at a time, and lay it out with modular tile. So it won't look bespoke like Tomb of Horrors and White Plume did, but I would like to do some more in that way.
yeah, I mean, the Tomb of Annihilation, I think that covered most of your garage floor when it was spread out, yeah, or at least a good corner of it.
7 by 9 feet. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, let's see. Hi, Martin and Mia and Karl. Good to see you here.
Mia's here. All right.
Yeah, and Dungeon Matron says, and then you add diamonds.
Yes, they're still in the crab. Uh, they're still there.
Yeah, that was one hell of a flex.
I've I've contemplated doing like I don't have a use for those dungeons, so like if I auction it off for charity or something, if I can get, you know, they're not worth a few grand, but if it's for a charity or something, people might do it for the novelty. But if I do, I'll have to take the diamonds out before I auction it.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. Okay, Lono45 saying Bill wears the tank top to remind us he's lucky to have found a woman early in life.
Yeah. It's you gotta wear the dad bod well. Wear it with pride.
Yeah, I think that's one of your most frequent quotes. I think. Although I remember, I think it was an April video where it was like stuff crafters never say or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Yeah. She made an appearance.
Okay, and hi Robert and Steve, good to see you. So, uh, let's jump on to your trademark material kind of thing, the graphics medium chipboard. How did you get into that? Because you really made that your thing.
Yeah, there was a package of it at Michael's, like that same week, that 8 years ago when I
Huh?
first started things. And they don't sell it there. I don't know if it was a one-off or what, but
It's a
it's
sign.
great stuff because yeah, it's thick and rigid, but doesn't require power tools to cut. It's fibrous. It's got a fibrous texture, so you get automatic detail when you're dry brushing
Hmm.
afterwards if you do it right. Um, you can use it for structure. You can use it for smooth cladding. Um, and it cuts easy and it's cheap. It's real cheap. It's like $20 for 25 square feet of it. Um,
That's really good value.
yeah, yeah. So like I've worked with plastic card. I've tried it, and when you need a smooth result, certainly you can't beat that. But I've never found that I've needed one. And plastic card is I've found much harder to work with.
So have I, and I think unless you're building vehicles or some kind of metallic structures or something that you don't really need that kind of
Yeah,
finish.
yeah, yeah. And glues. Chipboard takes all kind of glues. Takes white glue really well.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, in 5 minutes, it yeah
uh,
drinks in and you're
that
good to go.
really surprised me because it since it absorbs it, it cures really fast. It's like
Hmm.
you're not going to get that kind of speed with XPS or anything like that
Right. Yep. You can actually. I learned the hard way. You can't glue two large slabs of XPS together with white glue.
because they will never
It
dry. Yeah.
it never dries out. Yeah. I came back a few days later. What the heck?
uh, there is a way, but you have to have one hidden side. So like if you're gluing top part and the bottom part of a hill,
Uh-huh.
you can run holes through the bottom part,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
it's still a bit iffy.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So it really does sound like a case of right place at the right time.
Yeah. It really was. I, you know, so when did Scotty come on the scene? Like 2011, 2012. And there was that initial wave of us, and now there's dozens, if not maybe into the hundred something channels that are devoted to crafting. So it's really hard to grow now because the market's kind of saturated. You know what I mean? Which kind of unfair, kind of sucks. Folks like, let's see, what are you at? You're at 1,500.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, right. And so I really was just lucky to get in early. That was it. Lucky.
Still, I know you've done a lot of work also on the Tabletop Crafters Guild, for example. I think you're one of the administrators, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. That whole thing was Scotty's idea. He used to be DM Scotty's Crafts and Games.
In
I
fact,
don't know if you were here for that.
the URL is still that. It's just I,
Yeah.
but when I joined, it was already the Tabletop Crafters Guild.
Oh, okay. No, it was a big deal when he wanted to change it over and make it a bigger vision. And when he did that, he asked some of us to come on as admins. Yeah.
Okay, so when did that start, more or less? Because I never really looked into the history of that.
Scotty's group.
Yeah, and the Tabletop Crafters
Um,
Guild eventually.
Tabletop Crafters Guild. Geez, I don't know. Like, I think that change happened six-ish years ago.
All right.
Somewhere in my folder here, I have the hype video that we put together for it. I could look it up, but I mean, so before that, Scotty must have started it in the 2012-ish, 2013 time frame, I think.
That's quite. That's ages in internet time.
It really is. Yeah, it's surprisingly so. Yep, talking 10 years now. Actually, he's celebrated his 10 years on YouTube
Yeah,
not too
yeah,
long ago. So,
a couple of months ago,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how many people followed in his footsteps. So yeah, we've had him on a few months ago, and it really was a pleasure talking to him.
It always is. Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a reminder to everyone in the chat, if you want to drop some photos of your work in the community showcase, I'm going to leave the link in the chat now, and we'll look at them towards the end of the stream. Okay, so let's see. Oh, we have a question from you for you from Bockwinkel. What is best in life, D&D, 40k, or crushing your enemies, driving them before you, and hearing the lamentations of their women?
Mm. Definitely D&D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have gone for crushing your enemies, driving them before you, and hearing lamentations of their women.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I go with it for the gag, but I'm actually I didn't realize this when I was younger, but I'm actually a very, very competitive person. And like I don't watch sports anymore because I get too invested in it, which is just stupid. D&D is not a competitive thing. I think that's why I love it so much more. And like 40k and wargaming in general, it's fun and I like the visual spectacle of it. But
yeah, for sure.
as for the actual game, I found myself I'm sort of going back to my roots again. I'm trying to hone down to role playing games.
Yeah, I started off as a wargamer. We're talking 4th edition Warhammer and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So I still have kind of a soft spot for those games, but I was never particularly competitive. So
Yeah.
I generally tend to if I play against someone who is very competitive, they generally get very annoyed because I'll start doing stuff that looks like fun rather than something that makes tactical sense.
Oh yeah. Right. So do something narrative,
Yeah,
or
kind of thing.
you want the big one to fight the other big one. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so I only play war games against select few people who will not hit me with a chair when I do that.
Uh-huh.
But
Okay.
again, with D&D and role playing games in general, I just enjoy the general chaos.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Still, I did find one-page rules to your channel, which was really good.
Yes. Yes. All hail one page rules.
Okay, Dungeon Matron saying, Bill, how did your clip on stuff come about?
Um again, so early on, before I started my channel, I was watching other channels including Gareth, and I liked Gareth's his features. It wasn't a clip on, but it was like an L that would sit on the walls. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm talking about the DMG.info, which is another YouTube
Other
channel.
great
He
channel,
hasn't
yeah.
posted videos in a couple of years, um, he but it was very wiggly at the table. Didn't hold on real good. So I thought, well, if it could clip on, that would be modular and it would be more sturdy at the table. And you can use it to connect tiles together. So three birds, one stone. That was it.
Yeah, there's the engineering coming out. That's I especially like what Garrett did with the stages for the for online games.
Yes.
That was genius.
I have my Garrett stage over there, but he never followed through on that series. I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think was it Max DM Crafting? I think who gave him the photos for the backdrops and
I don't recall. I don't recall.
yeah. I did wonder what had happened to that series because it had a really good start.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, hello evolution of gaming. Yeah, Bill's armor doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yes.
Eh,
True.
I don't know. You could call it Wild Bill's armor or something like that.
Oh, and let's see. Where is that person from? Armory with a U. So
So
not a
that's
Yank.
UK definitely. Okay, so apart from D&D, I know that you're also working on your own role-playing game now.
Yeah, a few years. It's I Cyberpunk's another genre I really like. Um, and I've explored different systems, GURPS. I've played some GURPS when I was younger. Of course, Cyberpunk Red. Um, but they're just kind of, I find them inaccessible. I like some crunch. I'm not saying I'm like a pure wing it story type guy. I like crunch and the feeling of progression, but I want it to be as, again, like I said, as elegant as possible. Remove as much as you can. So if you can simulate that stuff with as few rules as possible and still feel like your choices matter and there's consequences, that's what I was after. And I don't just in my opinion, I don't believe you need 100 pages of rules to do that. So
I mean,
I said about
if you're talking
okay.
about GURPS, that's like 100 books of rules rather than 100 pages.
Yeah, GURPS and Cyberpunk Red was like the first 20 pages are pure tables. Um, and it's certainly a way to get things done. And, if you really, really enjoy that stuff, but I wanted something more elegant, but that would still let each character shine. Each would clearly have a role in the group. So it doesn't feel like everyone's a jack of all trades. So I actually began, it started out life as a system adapting Fallout 3 to
Ooh,
tabletop,
all right.
which of course subsequently got done officially anyway, like a year or two ago. But over time it morphed, and now we're very, very close to battening down the final rules. So we're on playtest draft 4 right now, and draft 5 should be the penultimate one. I'm going to try a few new things in the fifth one. And then after that, there will be playtest 6, which is the last check, the last chance, find the fatal flaws. And then we'll go to Kickstarter for print.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how does the that playtest process work? Because I mean, I guess you've got a number of groups of playtesters.
Yeah, I've got a Discord server for the playtesting. And basically, I put out a PDF of the working version of
Uh-huh.
what's going to be the final book. It's just half of it. It doesn't have the lore half of it. And then people play and they email me feedback or they put it in the Discord chat or whatever. I've run a couple sessions now for other folks, but I find it's most valuable to hear what happened when they try to run it, because I know what I thought when I put the words on the page. It's crystal
Uh-huh.
clear to me, but there's a lot of instances where people read something completely not what I intended. And I'm talking about in the mechanics and the rules. So that's an invaluable experience. And you've got to go into it just basically you have to say, whenever anyone gives you any feedback, you have to say, yes, thank you. You can't, even if you think they misunderstood something, um,
Yeah.
you've got to 100% of the time, you've got to err and give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, I've been seeing that a lot on DM Scotty's Discord with Easy D6 because the amount of
okay,
interpretations of the same rule, even if it's very rule slight, like 6 people will understand 7 different things.
okay, yep,
But
yeah.
did it involve a lot of negotiating on your part? It's been like, for example, this guy says, "I want this in the game," and someone else says, "I really don't like this in the game." How did that work out for you?
Oh yeah, those are like, I've had chat conversations, I've had video conversations, um, and sometimes we talk for hours, and sometimes I implement them, sometimes I don't, and sometimes they inspire a third solution that neither of us was really thinking about. That actually,
Nice.
without digging into the weeds, one of the core tenets of the way combat works came about that way. The answer that I've been looking for, um, again, I'd have to get deep down, but that's how it came about. So yeah, it's been very iterative. Hmm.
So there's a lot of brainstorming involved.
Oh
Uh,
yes, tremendous amount.
Hi, Traintronics and Stefano. Good to see you. And Evolution of Gaming is saying, so you have more playtesters than James Workshop.
In games where, yeah, that's true. I mean,
So,
I'm starting to really get the Games Workshop hate. For the longest time I was sort of a defender. I didn't really get into Warhammer. I didn't at all until 40K 8th edition. very late adopter, and that was the edition where they tried to recover the public, and they did for a little while. And the miniatures, in my opinion, even sitting here today, I still think they make the best miniatures in the world,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and they command the prices. But this Votan release, dude, I don't know how you mess up so bad. I
Yeah.
That's not good.
So let's see. Okay, Robert Evans is asking, can we get a link to the Wylock Discord?
Yeah, well, it's a Neon Sky. I don't have a Discord. I have one for Neon Skies playtesting specifically, and that's it's somewhere in my Facebook group backlog. I'll find it and bump it to the top.
Okay, if you send it to me, then I'll pop it into the comments at the end of the stream.
Okay.
Okay, and I saw a comment here. Ah, yes, again by Bookwinkel. What are your favorite video games?
There we go. Favorite video games. System Shock 2, Deus Ex, Baldur's Gate, Final Fantasy 7 and 8. Morrowind. Morrowind is probably at the very top, tied with Baldur's Gate for best game of all time. And lately, Factorio, Satisfactory, but mostly, yeah, I'm not into modern video games. As you can tell from that list, I kind of stopped playing video games after about 2002. Stopped getting new video games.
Yeah, I still play Skyrim every few years, I think. I still pick it up again. I don't. I maximum. I think I play maybe one video game a year, if that. But
Yeah. And Myst. Oh, I like Myst and any sort of clone of Myst. I like that genre.
that was I wasn't really into games at the time that came out, but that's a puzzle game, yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a graphics, it's a slideshow, click and point, puzzle story sort of graphics or sort of game. But it was like the first of its kind, and it's a big deal, even till today. Actually, Wylock Armory started out as I was a Flash game maker, and I made
Say again,
Flash
sorry.
games that were
Oh, all right, Flash
clones
games.
of Myst. Yeah.
Okay, that's you're talking a long time ago. Flash is
Yes, this was
does
about 2012 is when I put out my last Flash game.
all right.
Yeah.
Does it still exist? Does it still exist?
Yeah, it still exists.
All right.
There's 5 of them actually, 2 series. One of them has 2 parts, another has 3. Let's see if I can find it. Of course, you'll need a Flash emulator if you even want to try it.
Yeah, I used to do web development at the time when Flash was a big thing, and I'm happy never to touch it again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see. Kip says hell yeah to Final Fantasy 7 and 8.
Yeah, 7 and 8. I think they're so close. The soundtrack of 7 is better. I love the tedium of the gameplay of 8.
The tedium? How does it work?
Oh yeah. Oh, it's incredibly tedious, and it's not intuitive at all. And a lot of people call it a downside. I think it's contrary to everything I've said so far in the interview. I think the complexity of it is wonderful.
Okay, Spencer asks, what do you hope to see more of in the Dungeons and Dragons tabletop RPG crafting community? More channel crossovers, live streams, or in-person events?
Hope to see more of. I like when I see photos of pictures that are, frankly, they're obviously someone who this is their very first thing they've ever made.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, it just doesn't look good. But I love seeing that. And I love all the comments, the positive comments that get put on it, because we have a new Acolyte. And in short order, they're going to improve, and they're going to be making epic stuff. I love seeing those kind of pictures. Also, anything new. We're at a point where I don't know. I like whenever I see something really new and novel. One time, someone made a paper golem or a scroll golem, or golem, I should say, which, for every 10 pictures of some dungeon tiles, someone has something completely new and off the wall and bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to be shocked. I'd like to see bizarre work show up.
Yeah, I think we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and we've gotten to the level where we're not really making many new builds, but we're looking into stuff like, for example, the chemical composition of crackle paint,
Yeah,
which is another fun direction to be honest. But yeah, I totally get what you mean about the community being supportive. From what I've seen
yeah,
mostly in most crafting communities, it's like, oh, hello, new person, you have been adopted now. You're one of us.
yeah, yep, yep, exactly, exactly.
Okay, so Steve
Aid is
asks,
massively underrated. Yes, yes, it is.
what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
Of a what?
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
I have no clue.
Monty Python
I
joke there.
Google it. Oh, okay. So it's a Monty. I'm not very well familiar with Monty Python. Okay.
That's
Monty
okay.
Python joke. Sorry. Yeah, I'm letting you down there.
That's okay. You can't be good at everything. We found your defect. Yes. Okay. Bill should check out the Halloween challenge if he wants weird.
I want
Yeah.
weird. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our patron holiday as crafters.
Yeah, we're mentioning it's a time of year when the crafting supplies for the rest of the year magically show up.
Hmm.
So speaking of crafting, shall we have a look at some of the photos you sent me?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, coming up. Boom. So this is a really, 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 really small section of some of the stuff you've made.
Yeah, my bad. I thought they were going to be like sort of a back slideshow. I would have sent you more. This is an excerpt from Out of the Abyss. This was intended to show in 10 minutes what I could throw down on a table with very little prep.
Okay. I remember this video vaguely, but I forgot what these colored pieces are here in the middle.
Just tattered rugs.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Yeah, very simple.
And again, you've got these coffins which are literally just printed on you.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I was an hour away from game night. I hadn't done any prep. My players had come to expect terrain. And this is a mini dungeon from the Out of the Abyss book. So I just showed how you can supplement with some print and paste and crinkle up some paper and paint it to make tattered rugs. Not particularly groundbreaking stuff, but frankly, I needed a video. It had been a while.
No, I mean, looking at this and thinking back to the time that I started playing back in the 90s, most of our terrain was, at maximum a packet of chips, a book, and a bottle of beer. That was the terrain.
Uh-huh.
So this is already miles above.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was my heavy Warhammer phase. Those knights are actually 3D printed. The rest of the models I think are natural. Um, yeah, it's just some paint jobs I was particularly proud of. A lot you can do with an airbrush. Man, an airbrush makes you look so much better than you really are. I'm not a very good painter.
Still, I really like the effect of the burnt metal on the guns,
Yeah, yeah. That's yep. Airbrush.
and that lightning on the tank there is just spectacular. It's really good.
Yeah, thanks.
That also airbrush?
Mostly, yeah. The lightning gets retraced with a brush with white
All right.
toward the end, but then there's a final bloom after that to blend it back in. Yeah. Oh, that takes me back.
And I think you had built a Titan from scratch as well at some point.
Yes. Yeah. For the pauldrons, I used applesauce cups cut in half. Yep.
I mean, I
Yeah, man. These are still up here behind me. That guy's. Yeah. Still got him.
nice. Love those glow effects.
Yeah. Yep. Again, airbrush.
I keep saying I want to try out an airbrush, but I haven't really pulled the trigger yet.
Literally or figuratively.
Both. Okay, I think this one was a more recent one. It's your Cavern Udity.
Yep. Just going back to basics. Get myself a nice set of Cavern stuff because I didn't really have one. So I've been systematically throwing out or selling a lot of my old stuff and replacing it with everything I've learned in the past 8 years.
Because you got to make space eventually and make new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Make space. Well, space luckily hasn't been an issue yet, but it's more about I just know I'm never going to use this thing again.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, or I'll give it to the kids and let them destroy it.
Okay, hi Mike from Net1 Videos and Karl Chaos. And yeah, uh, what are these pillars made of? They look really good.
It's cardboard rolled up into a tube and then coated on there with toilet paper that's been dredged through white PVA glue and
All
water.
right.
Yeah,
Nice.
took like 4 days to dry.
Is this the one that you had repainted?
The big circle that they're all on is repainted.
All right.
Yeah, that thing is several years old.
Some nice miniatures here too.
Yeah, that halfling actually turned out not too bad. The fire beetles, I
Uh,
wanted to have the fire beetles thorax cut out and then put a yellow LED there because the battery would fit underneath the base.
oh, all right.
But the tininess of the whole thing and the wiring, it's beyond my ability. I don't have the tools for that kind of precision.
Okay, maybe you should have talked to, I don't know if you talked to David from Terraintronics.
Okay.
He can probably help you with that.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it's the fat fingers because these things, look at it. The base is 5/8 of an inch wide. For me, it's the fingers and the dexterity. But maybe there's a canned solution or something. Yeah. Traintronics is here, right?
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
the chat.
Yep. Yeah, in the chat.
Okay, he's describing papier mâché, right? 4 days of drying hurts my heart.
Yeah, it's basically paper mache. It's again, the whole point of the stuff I try to do on my channel is that anyone can do it as cheaply as possible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you could use plaster. I have Sculptamold. I have a big box of Sculptamold, but I just wanted to see what I could do without having to spend, $50 for Sculptamold.
I mostly make my own bootleg sculptor mold.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I just recycle junk mail and stuff like that into it.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, the real stuff is a lot finer. You're not going to get the same effects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this was another recent video, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It actually started as the Drow table, and then I thought to remake my books. I did a video on books a long time ago, early in the channel,
All
but
right.
I wasn't real happy with how they looked. These, I'm still kind of, they look a little rough, but again, that's because the camera's ultra zoomed in. In person, it doesn't look nearly so crude.
Yeah, I mean, here you're seeing them at about 3 times the size you would see them on the table.
Yeah. Oh, more than that even, yeah. But Yeah, what else? I let the vampire teeth full of blood to serve as fonts for any
Oh yeah,
experiments.
the table legs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I mean, and you've got quite a lot of stuff going on here, like the bottles from beads, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some beads. And the decals were a last second thought. Um, I've played some of Witcher 3 and couldn't really get into it, but from what I recall of the opening first bit of it is the art direction and the culture in that game world is that on the inside of buildings there's colorful paintings
Oh yeah, totally.
like directly on the wall, right? And I thought that was really cool. It wasn't grim dark fantasy. It was something different. So I thought to colorize. Don't be afraid of color. And these decals were sitting next to me, and I thought, let's give it a try. Do something like that.
I think if you look at 15th century buildings in Central Europe and that kind of thing, they're a lot more colorful than we would expect.
Uh
Definitely
huh.
much more colorful than a modern building. I think I'm not sure if it's Nuremberg, but there's this German city that has the that's known for that kind of decoration on the buildings.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, and yeah, the classic jewel.
Oh, gotta be Jewel it. Gotta be Jewel it.
Okay, again, a lot of stuff going on here.
Yeah, the treasure pile stuff I was super happy with. I like the contrasting browns and again, just trying to go for a little more saturation, a little less grimdark during my big reset that I've been doing the past few months. Yeah.
I think the metal effect on these weapons and shields here, especially this shield, looks fantastic.
Dude, yeah, that's just gunmetal and then not Nuln Oil, but I use Army Painter. So it was dark wash. And that's it. No highlighting, no
Seriously?
dry brushing, no edge. Yep, that's it.
I mean, from the photo, it looks literally like an illustration. It's like when you get really good non-metallic metal, really, really good non-metallic metal.
I know, dude. Army Painter, plate mail metal, and Army Painter, dark tone. That's what I use for all my metal. Yeah.
Okay, I see a lot of glitter in there.
Oh yeah, yeah, gold pile. Gets everywhere. And you can't seal it in because then it loses its sparkliness. So I just live with it.
Okay, so we have to top it up ever so often, or
No, no, no. They after a few weeks, they pretty much shed all that they're going to shed, and you're good to
okay.
go. The weapon bits, though, for anyone that has a friendly local game store, most of them have a bits box where people put their leftover sprue bits, and that's where I got these. I just went in, and they usually sell them for like 10 cents a piece or something in the US or whatever your equivalent currency is. So it's a good way to load up on free miniature weapons.
And the heads on those stuffs, I don't think they're from a miniature kit, yeah?
No, those staffs are all scratch built and they're just from my costume jewelry bin of so a lot of people at
Oh,
garage sales will sell a baggie of costume jewelry for $1. And I've collected, cheap costume jewelry over the years. So like the red one is a portion of a bead that I cut the rest off of. And um the green one is that's like a druid staff. That's some paper clips twined together, bit of flour glued in at the end, fake flour. So yeah, those are all scratch built.
okay. Terrain is saying glitter, the curse that keeps on giving.
It is. It is.
So you mentioned beads and garage sales. Are there any sources of materials that you think are underrated or
Sources that are
underused? Like, I mean, you mentioned the garage sales and bags of beads and stuff like this.
I'm sure there are. Let me see. Underrated. So like properly rated, everyone knows the orange juice caps and
Hmm.
yeah, so, but underrated. So yeah, garage sales are our treasure trove. Um Trying to think of like at least one other novel thing that I've found and used. Thrift store toys, of course. Um Applesauce cups. Looking up at my junk here. The dollar store hair curlers.
Ah, yeah, use those quite a lot for the cages on
Yeah.
leathers and things, yeah.
Yep, they're the ultimate cage. I don't know if I think of anything, I'll bring it
Oh
back
yeah,
up.
for sure. And I think you also use some of the parts here are from 40K, but the way you
Yeah.
put them,
Take
it doesn't look like it's a sci-fi piece.
Yeah, you can find ones without hands on the hilt, or if there are, you can shave them away with an X-Acto knife. I think that's what I did for this one. This is a Adeptus Custodes weapon.
Yeah, the thing with them is that sometimes they have these pipes and tubes going through them, which
Yes. Yeah, cut those off.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, Dungeon Matron is saying shampoo bottles and pump bottles are way underrated. Yeah,
Okay.
lots of parts in them.
Pump bottles.
Okay, this was your White Plume Mountain build, I think.
Yep. Yep, that's right. Finished recently and put together the supercut just like I did for Tomb of Horrors. That'll probably go up in a week or two. So it's a 2 hour and 11 minute movie. um, this one gave me a lot. I'm still not totally happy with how this came out.
Why is
Part of
that?
it's the lighting of the photo, but as I showed in the video, I remade this entire room. I built one and it didn't work out, and part of it is doing it at the scale I had committed to would have been unnecessary and unwieldy, so I cheated there. And
Right.
then part of it is anytime you're dealing with resin, there's the propensity for a leak.
No kidding.
Yeah, yeah. Despite your best efforts, it can and will. Yeah.
And when it does fail, it tends to fail spectacularly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I,
One thing I'm proud of is the manticores, as described in the module, had their wings clipped off.
oh,
So if you
word.
look closely, you can see how I did clip their wings off.
Ah, okay, yeah. I love these scars as well.
Yep, yep, filled
Okay.
with hot glue.
I really like this ground texture. It looks really good.
Oh yeah, good old sand. And one thing I'm still hunting for to this day is a batch of paint colors that gives me a good looking sand. This is sort of a redder Martian, but I want like yellow desert sand. And I've done the obvious, use a muted goldenrod and dry brush with khaki, but I'm still not there. Still hunting for that perfect sand.
Yeah, I get you. In my case, I just settled for a redder mix. I think it's even redder than this one, but getting the exact sand color right is tricky.
Yeah, yeah.
For earth colors, I just solved it by just literally using earth.
For earth colors.
Literally using earth. Dirt.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
So you don't even need to worry about painting that.
Yeah. Yep. That's one way to do it. Yeah.
Okay, and let's move on.
Yeah. More recently from White Plume, the crab inspired by Tamatoa
With the diamond.
from the film. Yeah. Yep. Uh,
Okay, and do you 3D print most of your miniatures, or are these sets? How do you
so
work with
that's
it?
3D printed. Yeah, I bought and then 3D printed.
All right.
Hmm.
The crab was a toy, if I'm not mistaken.
The crab is also 3D printed.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yep. Cool it on.
And this effect was for kind of a lava hot thing. I forget what it was.
Yeah. So missed opportunity here. The bubble that you're safe in is a
Mm-hmm.
membrane protecting you from the boiling lake around, but the resin pour is perfectly smooth. And up in person, it is gorgeous. It came out crystal clear. But if it's boiling,
It
shouldn't it
should have
have
bubbles, yeah.
bubbles in it? Yeah. So
You know, the one time that
maybe
you need the bubbles.
yeah. Maybe halfway through the curing, I could have taken a straw and blown into it. I don't know what I could have done to get that effect, but
I, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure what causes the bubbles. I know it's humidity and moisture, but I have no idea how to induce it.
yeah. I have seen done. You take a little bit of soap and water so that it foams up into white bubbly foam, and then you spread that onto the area. First, you lay down UV resin, then you put the bubbles on top of that, then you hit it with your UV flashlight,
All right.
and then the bubbles go away, and you're left with a ripply, bubbly texture. You know what? Because I can always retroactively do this now that the video's done. I might try and do that.
All right.
Take a note. Bubble.
Be interesting to see the outcome of that.
Yeah. Well, there's a question about my favorite failed project.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Definitely the Imperator class Titan. I got the feet done, and I showed them in a video about failed videos that I made. But the Imperator Titan was going to be 38 inches tall. I bought Arduino boards and had arms moving and stuff, but never finished it.
Was it a question of time or literally a question of this thing is too large, and you'll
Time.
never get to use it anyway?
It was time. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Tina Martin suggested that you go to Guadeloupe.
Yeah. I Googled it.
Yeah,
I,
Tina collected some loam, I think, from there, some earth to make pigments with, and yeah, yeah, that gives a really nice effect.
okay. Straight up. Okay. Old medieval castle.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're still building it.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I think one of the not I think I mean the main attraction of the place is that you can see it getting built with the techniques correct to that time period.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's an interesting idea.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can send you
Hmm.
a couple of documentaries about it later if you like.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the
Cool.
meantime, works. Lots of works.
Yes. This
That's a
was
lot of
a
works.
this is 4 eBay armies rescued and then
Work.
mostly stripped and then sprayed and speed painted. So again, this is about 100 hours of work on this table, which is not a lot for an army of this size. And again, I get away with that with the airbrush and using washes, using base colors that are very bright so that the wash basically you get a lot of contrast after the wash.
All right.
I don't do edge highlighting. I only dry brush or don't do any highlighting at all. So
So, for example, on the vehicles, this came out without specific edge highlighting.
correct. That is a brilliant silver, metallic silver, very lightly dry brushed with a big
Oh,
dry brush over the whole side of the vehicle, which was just jet black, plain black.
nice.
Yeah, so in like 3 seconds, it catches the rivets, it catches the edges, and anywhere it does scrape a flat surface, that's just chip paint.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's the kind of efficiency I like.
Yeah, exactly. I don't paint eyes. See that?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can see it here
I
in the
don't waste
corner.
time painting eyes. Yeah, this is base colors and then a wash. Or in this case, actually with this army, it was a dip because there's hundreds of models literally. So I prepared a jar of a lot of wash and I just dipped them, shook them off, set it to dry. Next one, and just assembly lined it.
Just one sec, because apparently Skynet has dropped in to say hello.
Skynet?
Yeah, we have some bots in the chat.
Oh, I see.
Let's see. Can I remove them from here? I'll just put user in timeout for now. There we go. Give me a spinner and I'll take care of the bot.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem.
Okay, so basically you're going for volume here rather than detail.
Yes, volume, quantity over quality. And ensure your bases are all done. See it through and make sure your army's bases are all done the same way. You
Okay.
can cloak so many sins by doing that. If you see these models up close, I mean, they are speed paints, they are crude, but you just don't notice it when
No, I
it's in
mean,
a huge army.
when you see the whole picture in front of you like that, it's like, yeah, you're definitely not going to notice the ice at that point.
Yep. Yep.
Still, I noticed that you still took some time to do these gradients on the rods. What are they?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, with the airbrush, all my power weapons just get an airbrush gradient of 2 or 3 colors. It's super easy to do.
I mean, and again, even when I zoom into this, you don't get the impression that they're not heavily painted. If that
That
makes
they're not
sense.
what?
Sorry, I mean, when even if you zoom in, you don't get the impression that they're not painted in detail and stuff. I mean, they still look good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotcha.
But I see
Yeah,
what you mean
nice.
about the bases too.
Yep. Yep. Consistency.
That is good advice.
Hmm.
Okay, I
Battle for Blingden Stone out of the abyss.
okay, we've got a lot of slimes going on here.
Yep, all four of the big major ooze types are represented in this picture. And you got the shield dwarfs that they had hired. For anyone who's not familiar with the campaign, this is a section where you're coming back from the surface and have hired some of them can be shield dwarfs. So this was just from a session. Yep.
So, are you running any games at the moment apart from Cyberpunk? I mean,
No, we just finished Out of the Abyss and we haven't met in a couple weeks. And this week we're probably going to meet up to start a final like playtest campaign of Neon Skies
all
in my
right.
own personal group. And that'll give me time also to finish my getting more back to basics D&D stuff done so that we can kick off because after Out of the Abyss, we're ready for some good old fashioned high fantasy gold and dragons and stuff. We're kind of burned out on the underground feel, you know. It's a hard campaign to run.
Dungeon Matron says I like the crystals on the walls. Yeah, they do stand out.
Oh yeah, yeah, exposed crystal veins because they are miners.
So, speaking of gold dragons and stuff, are you going for the Dragonlance setting or something, just something else with dragons?
No, it's a custom. It's actually a campaign I'm writing called the Black Rain Crisis, and it's in which a lich has stolen an ancient white dragon's most prized possession, and in turn, the dragon has stolen the lich's phylactery.
Ooh.
So they're holding each other hostage and at war, and the entire valley is suffering for it. So it will be incumbent upon the party to determine who they're going to side with, if anyone, and just let it play out from there.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a Mexican standoff with superpowers.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And the stakes are the end of the world.
Okay, Lisa says, I cannot wait to play Neon Skies at GIFCon.
Yeah, yeah, me too. And I'm gonna very shortly. I'm gonna email out the latest packet so everyone can make their characters ahead of time.
Okay, so Lisa, make sure you tell us all about it later. Okay, and
Terraintronic says he's gonna have a booth. You were planning on a booth, or you're gonna have a booth? What does that mean?
was planning. Are you still going to have that?
Yeah, Terraintronics just posted that. I know there's a 30-second delay, so I'll talk about this picture.
Oh yeah, please go ahead.
Um, yeah, the XP90. This is part of the Neon Sky setting. This was probably one of my top 3 personal favorite videos in the past few years. It just came out really cool, and there's all kinds of ingredients in there. So bashing all that together is just very gratifying.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, David says planning, but life got in the way. I'm
Oh,
sorry to hear that,
okay.
man.
Bummer. Okay.
But yeah, again, I really like the burnt metal effect on the guns, and I recognize some of the I recognize some of the bits that you're using in there, but the way they're used is so unusual that doesn't really stand out. Saying like, "Hey, this is this part from that thing."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Hold on just 5 seconds. Let me get something.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So here's the XP90,
Okay.
and here is the forthcoming XP120.
Whoa.
Yeah. So this is actually can kind of tell this is
Toy
an
gun.
air dart. Yeah, air dart gun. And this is the chassis under here. This was the like casing for the dart gun. And I had 2 of them. So perfect shape for the legs.
Yeah,
You know, it looks like it's in the same family.
that looks
So
impressive. It's like you're going on to the mech level kind of thing.
yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
nice. Okay, Tina saying good night. Good night, Tina.
Good night. Thanks for joining.
So the part I wasn't sure about was the dice wrapped in cardstock. I mean, was that just to get because you couldn't find anything that fit that size and shape, or was there some?
Correct.
All right.
Yep. Yep. I could have gone out and got some crafting rod, I'm
Yeah.
sure, but again, I'm trying to do stuff that most people wouldn't have access to. So yep, I wanted rounded corners, and it needed to be very, very strong because it's the legs.
Oh, that makes sense. And again, bits of toy, which is it's always fun to use those.
Yeah, Final Faction. Yeah.
You guys get a lot of use out of those. I mean, like
Oh yeah.
I know about five or
Yeah.
six people who swear by them.
Oh, it's treasure trove. Yep.
Okay. Daffy is saying we all often forget to make sure items need enough weight to stop them from being knocked over.
Yep.
Yeah, and it needs vibration motors when it fires in game.
I have some Arduino and some stepper motors.
Yeah, we've had I think David and I had a couple of conversations about how much immersion is too much immersion at the table.
That's a good conversation. Yes. That's yeah. It's like at what point are you why don't you just play a video game?
Yeah, and thing is that, for example, if you've got miniatures that make sounds and flashing lights, it might be a bit too distracting. you as the game master are describing the scene and the miniatures, blowing up at the same time. It kind of
Hmm.
loses the player's attention.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, the novelty can become too much. Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, again, he also came up with some brilliant low-key ideas to build some more of that without actually getting in the way of play.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's a balance for sure.
Yeah, but again, I really like the big mech you just showed, but this one is still one of my favorites.
Okay, cool. All right.
But if I had to make one of those, though, I probably put a smiley face on the front.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I sent this one to you just because I was really happy with how the turnstile came out.
Hmm?
Like the way it's described in the book, I think that's exactly what it's supposed to look like.
Remind me which dungeon is this from?
White Plume
White Plum
Mountain.
Mountain, still, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the turnstile was really good, and I like how you did the hanging chains. It's not very obvious from the photo, so I think that's good.
Yeah. 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 And actually, Jeremy Black Magic Craft had done this room before. I didn't know that. So I watched how he did it and basically did the same thing. Just laden them down with super glue.
And was the turnstile mobile or is it a solid piece?
It's solid. It's solid. Yeah.
Yeah, I get the fun of making things with movable parts, but at the same time, I'm like, no, that will break. Let's glue it down.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you really need to show that the door has been opened? I don't feel that it's important. People jokingly challenge me to make a clip-on door because my whole thing was clip-ons. Make a clip-on that opens. No, it's not possible, but I I don't think it's necessary either.
You could, but you probably need to use far heavier materials than you use already, and
Yeah.
effort the cost benefit on that would be so minimal. It's like, what's the point?
Hmm. Yeah.
Those craters, on the other hand, look amazing.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yep. That's just built up sculpted mold and then some hot glue for swirl texture.
Do you know what the maximum temperature for hot glue is?
Max temperature for hot glue?
Yeah, I mean, sorry. When does it get too soft? For example, if it's 40 or 36-degree weather, does it still hold
Mm.
up? Does it start to sag or something?
Boy, I don't I've never had that issue. So, but I've never stored anything in my attic.
Uh-huh.
So I really have no idea at what part it starts to become plastic.
Alright.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, and I'm looking closer now. I see that the chains are twisted wire.
If they're twisted, it's just by happenstance. Really, they're just hit with super glue and baking soda.
Uh-huh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tried to do something similar with my floating terrain build, but I think I ended up putting too much weight on it, so it kind of broke.
Mm.
So yeah, super glue and baking soda. It's
Yeah, well, these are not strong, keep in mind.
yeah, I mean,
You
but
the
they don't. They're
Right,
not holding anything up. That's the thing.
right, right. Yep.
So it doesn't matter if they just need to hold their own weight.
Basically, yep. And then you got to store them carefully.
Okay, yeah, Earthman bricked what you said, waifu mountain.
Oh, now I see what's going on there. Yes. That's funny.
Okay, and looking at these robes here,
Yeah, again, this is
airbrush.
just airbrush. Yep. This is not me doing any wet blending. This is 2 or 3 shades in the airbrush. Piece of cake.
And I remember when you were painting the Demogorgon model, I think was that the first time you used an airbrush or
No, no, it was a long time before that.
alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Or dungeon scatter.
Ah, yes. Tomb of Horrors, final room. That's the skull of a Sirak.
Ooh, alright.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this is useful. Cross from Campaign Terrain is saying, I go to DragonCon in Georgia, USA. Left in your car for even 5 minutes is too hot for hot glue stability.
Well,
That's good
there
to
you
know.
go.
Thanks, Cross.
Okay.
Okay, again, I see 40k pieces. I see beads.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like it comes from some costume jewelry as well.
Got some jewelry. Yep. And
And
if you put this next to the artwork in the 5th edition module, it's pretty bang on. I was super happy with how this turned out.
you do like to do that as an extra challenge, don't you?
As an activity,
I said you do like to do that as an extra challenge.
yeah. Draw from the source. Yeah. Capture the essence. Yeah. Dollar store underwater flares. You twist them to turn them on. So the brass bit that goes into the orange juice caps
Uh-huh.
is secured. So you just take the barrel and twist it a little bit. I positioned those sprues just so that you only have they're just barely not engaged. So you twist a little bit and they turn on. And these are 40K Imperial Gothic. So those bottle caps are like perfect. They're the orange juice caps are perfect for it.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah.
I'm just remembering someone had been. I think it was Cross. Had been talking about doing something similar with the glow sticks. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go, man. You see,
Yeah.
it works.
If these were another random brainstorm, wasn't planning on them. Sunday morning, sitting here trying to get momentum, and just saw those sitting in my collection and made them.
And you built 4 or 5 of these.
Yeah, I made 4 of them.
Nice.
Yep.
What are those things you're using for the rivets?
Toho seed beads.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get them at the crafting store in the bead section.
And they're tiny.
They are very tiny. Yeah, they're super glued on.
Nice. Okay, now this is one of your classics.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Ping pong ball beholder. Probably my all-time favorite vid, or at least the one I'm most proud of, the ping pong ball beholder. But this picture is called Bad Monday.
Yeah, I
So
can see
these,
why.
I don't have any of these anymore. They've been either sold or given out as prizes, or auctioned. I can't remember. They've all had different fates, but they have serial numbers written on the bottom of them with my autograph. So whoever's got them, you know who you are.
Do you use some glass eyes for the central eye or something like that?
Yeah, those are glass eyes from Michaels. I think they're called cabacons, cabochons,
Cabochon?
maybe. Yeah,
Alright. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, if I find a craft store lesson for a creepy bag of ice, I think I can pronounce that.
Hmm.
Cabochon, not so much. I remember those hills and crags as well. I did make a few of them,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I really like the effect. I mean, and they're super easy to make.
Yeah, they are. I found that they're getting a little bit tiring to look at. I think I might repaint them in a more interesting color scheme, but they've physically they've held up real good as far as wear is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't anything part. There are no, there aren't any fragile parts really. It's so, and there's nothing sticking out, so it's mostly a very stable shape.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, and what's this guy down here?
That's a miniature of me. They did Crippled God Miniatures did a limited collector's run. There were, I think, 20 or 40 of them. They made miniatures of me, DMG, Scotty, Jeremy, and V, the Crafting Muse.
All right,
And I've got one of those 40 over there.
nice.
But this is me from it.
What's that? What's that thing you're holding there?
It's a beer.
Okay, fair.
Yep. Yep. But again, that's Crippled God Miniatures. Make good stuff.
Nice. Oh yeah, I remember this video, and I love the finish on this table.
Yeah, again, simplicity. Nothing you can't get from Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever you have in your part of the world. B&Q, I think. B&Q.
I don't think we have that here, but we have
Oh,
other chain stores.
okay. Yep. Nice Sunday afternoon.
Okay, Lisa's saying you need a skeleton beholder.
Yeah, thing is that the ping pong ball is solid though. I don't know how to make it see through. I have to think about that.
How had you gotten the logo on the table? Is it sprayed on? Is it burnt on?
Spray.
Oh,
Yep, masked off with tape and then just black matte spray paint.
and then you polish on top of it.
Yeah, urethane on top of all that.
Oh yeah, that
Yep.
will seal it in.
Yep. 6 or 7 coats.
I remember the video on this, and it's really yeah, like you said, simple materials, but if you take the care to finish it properly, it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Oh, and there's another one I really like.
Yeah, this was this was another just sort of stretch the muscles and get momentum, but every once in a while when I do those throwaway projects, they end up being worthwhile. So then I make a video out of them. And this was one of them. Bolter maker.
Yeah.
Bolter-o-matic.
I like the deal is like the paints and the wax, I guess, for the seals. The ribbon for
Purity
the
Spencer
yeah.
dispenser. Purity seal. Yep.
Okay, and what was this made of? Is it still chipboard or is it plastic parts?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Like you could tell that the sides of that conveyor belt are from a Lehman Russ tank,
Hmm?
and then it's like cardboard for the belt itself. Um,
Okay, yeah.
there's bits of sprue used for
Yeah, I
structure.
can see it
There's
on the side here.
yeah, there's all kind of miscellaneous junk bashed together here.
And what is this floor painted?
The floor is drywall mesh.
Ah, okay, that's why it's so.
Yeah,
Because I thought it was grating at first, but then it was too. It's too thin for that.
yeah, drywall mesh. Yep.
Okay, and you've got some weathering going on around the side here. Do you also use that? Is that army painter or?
For large areas, for terrain, I won't. That will require a lot of wash, and it's
Mhm.
also too rich. No, that's just black acrylic craft paint and water. It's just like 1 part of this to 10 parts water.
All right.
This is the second one of these as I've ever bought in 8 years. It lasts forever.
Okay.
And yeah, for terrain, that's my go-to. You grunge everything down, black wash, and makes you look better than you really are.
Uh, yeah, I've just started experimenting with oil washes. So far, I'm really liking them.
Oil washes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have not done that yet.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Earthman Brick has been telling me about it for years and years and years. So,
Mhm.
not years and years, but definitely several months.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Occasionally I see those in the clearance aisle. I'll have to check it out.
yeah, I mean, and if you're going to use them for washes, you don't need any expensive oil paints. You can just literally find the cheapest ones because you're going to flood them with mineral oil anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're just using them to make washes, you can literally go for the cheapest and work with that.
Hmm. Okay. Cool.
You do have to invest a bit more in varnish though, because it really helps if you varnish things over before.
Have I'm sorry, you were asking?
No, I was saying if you go that way, you have to get a lot more varnish because
Okay.
you really need to varnish everything before you apply the oil paint.
Okay. Gotcha. So I was just catching up on chat here. The console. Oh, the gears. The gears are torn out of a CD player. Uh, center divider, chunky gears. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's another good source. It's electronics.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm working on a fusion reactor right now. That
Oh,
is the remainder of that CD player.
seriously?
Uh huh. It's over there.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I also remember that you use quite a few things like what do you call them? LED lights and stuff like that, which are pre-programmed.
Mhm.
So,
Sure.
do you usually base your builds around that, or do you just start building and then you say, okay, I found this thing and I'm going to throw it in there?
No, I do all my LED wiring from scratch,
All right.
and I design the circuit and solder it all together. So all my lighting is bespoke, um, except for those cannons you saw earlier.
Ah, yeah, okay, but
But
those aren't even wired, I guess, no?
yeah, but like this fusion reactor, it'll have a lot of blue LEDs in it, and
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, evolution of gaming is says, well, Karl, it's not a real fusion reactor. Okay, yeah, that explains it.
that's true. It's not a real fusion reactor.
Yeah, you don't want to be taking your work at home.
Fission for me, not fusion. I took plasma fusion basics as an elective in my senior year, but I did not do well in it. It's not for me.
What you just said sounds more complicated than rocket surgery.
Uh, no, it's well, maybe. I mean, I didn't get it. Like I said, I didn't do well. So
So, do you have any plans for builds apart from the fusion reactor and the dungeon rooms?
yeah, there's 40K makes these 12-inch square sector mortalis floors,
Hmm.
and I've made 24 of them, and they've been sitting on the shelf for like 3 years now. I want to finish those. Um, the fusion reactor, turning Star Wars Episode One toys like the Naboo fighter into Tau
Oh, that's
vehicles.
a good idea.
That's
Nice.
sitting over there ready now. Tavern basics, going back to D&D back to basics. The
Uh,
next thing will be taverns and miniature, tiny miniature little food.
nom nom nom.
I have an obligatory Army Painter review video to get out. Their products are great. I hate doing sponsor stuff, but uh, you got to do it.
You got it. I mean, like, it helps. Definitely helps. Hey,
Uh,
Max, DM
yeah.
Crafting. Good to see you. He says hello.
Oh, Max is here.
Yeah,
Great, cool. And then I want to finish the audiobook of Return to the Tomb of Horrors.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's. Didn't you post like an hour of that or an hour and a half of that? I forgot.
It's like five. I think there's 4 or 5 hours of it. I've released 2 parts.
Ah, okay.
The whole book will probably be 4 parts. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're keeping busy.
Yeah, try to. That's what
Nice.
the audiobook thing was like, and I don't feel like making stuff today. What can I do something for the channel? So I'll try. Let's just see what happens with the audiobook.
It's not the normal audiobook I would look for, but
Right.
I still
Yeah.
it's still fun to listen to it in the background. It's like randomly absorbing ideas from it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
And of course, Christmas is coming. I'm that guy who like I'm about to start putting up Christmas lights.
Oh.
Yeah, the Griswold. So inevitably, some strands will be dead from last year, and I'll have a fresh supply.
Traintronics is asking, Bill, what size Toho seeds do you use? For those of us with a painful addiction to Amazon.
Oh, it's either 4/0 or 6/0. One moment, I'll look.
The man, the crafter, the legend of the graphics chipboard. Yeah, he is the prophet of the chipboard.
4/0.
Okay, there you go, David. Mike said, wow, that's early. Is your house already totally Halloweened out?
No, I'm not huge on Halloween. I love Christmas time. I'll probably start listening to Christmas music the day after Halloween, and the lights will be set up and ready to turn on the day after Halloween.
Did you get ready early?
Yeah, yep, love it.
Nice.
I also like pumpkin spice latte. I love this time of year. I'm a basic bro, as they say.
Oh, yeah. David says, I think I'll be delaying my Christmas lights with the new cost per kilowatt. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so
Graphics medium. Yeah, some graphics medium chipboard plugs. Very good.
yeah, you have turned many to that way.
Yeah.
Okay, he also said,
Nice
nice wife beater.
canot. Nice canottiera.
It's
What is
Italian
that?
for string vest, wife beater.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and oh yeah, Lisa says, when you're at loss for a video subject, you could do a short narrated story based on one of your builds. That would be nice.
Yeah, I try and bake something in the last few minutes because I have nothing else to fill the air with. Like when I do the fly through of the project at the end.
I mean, those fly-throughs are good. I really like the because you don't see the whole project as you're building the parts, but once you put it all together, it's holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so what do you say we jump into Discord and see what's in the community showcase? See what everyone else has put up.
Sure. Yeah, I got is it like 10-ish minutes.
Okay, off we go then.
Does that work?
That works perfectly.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
My 8-year-old just started DMing and he's chomping at the bit.
oh, nice. Well, wish him
Let's
luck or
see.
break a leg or whatever is the correct term to
Yeah.
wish people luck for DMing. Okay, so first one up is mine. I don't usually post stuff in the community showcase, but I wanted to show you
Oh, those are
this.
books.
Those are books based on your
Yeah.
video.
Zoom in on this.
This was an idea I got
Yeah.
when watching your video because I was thinking, what if you make like terrain out of piles of books, like some crazy archivist's library or something like that?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I might have to use that because I want to do a Wizard's Lair
Do it.
like theme, and this is the kind of thing you would see sitting around there. Yeah, you glue the books together. You don't even need furniture.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
The only thing is, I think I need to work a bit more on building the books because some of them don't really read as books. Some of the big ones do, but the smaller ones definitely don't. So I still need a bit of practice on that one, but I think you could definitely pull that off.
yeah. And the candles are those paper clips for the wick?
Telephone wire.
Telephone wire. Oh, okay.
Okay, I've got a video about how to make them and the drippings and stuff on Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Nice. Cool.
So yeah, and I painted them in this OSL stuff because I was too lazy to paint them one by one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the thing is that this picture, there's a lot of like continuity to it. You're right. It's not like colorful and bold, but if you committed to this style, man, a whole room like this would just look
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
breathtaking.
yeah, yeah. And
There is no right or wrong style. It's the grass is always greener. Right now, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this picture and thinking, I basically need to redo all the books I've done because I really like this look. But then tomorrow, someone's gonna,
yeah, exactly. Someone's going to post something else and be like, "Oh man, I've
yeah,
got to do
want it
them again."
all. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, next up, Stefano from Chimera Gaming, and I think that's a scratch build. I'm not entirely sure, but I like
Yeah.
the.
I think I know that bead. I'm not sure.
Is it a bead?
Well, there's a common skull bead that tends to show up, but the eyes on this one aren't the same size, so I don't think this is it. This might be a scratch build,
And I
which would
like.
be amazing. I can't sculpt. I can't do humanoid stuff for to save my life.
I have been able to sculpt skulls, but making an entire skeleton is always it's too fine for my level of skill at this point.
Yeah, yeah, same here.
But I love the weathering on that blade, and Stefano and Liam, both of them from Chimera War Gaming, are really good at this kind of grimdark kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is real nice
Shade
work.
and yeah, picture too.
Uh-huh. I mean, even the framing and the fog. Okay, next one up is from Steve's Paintbrush. Steve is really good at making scary stuff.
Yeah, that
Uh,
is wonderfully disconcerting.
and the I know that the goat is a sculpt. So yeah, this one is scratch built.
Yeah, and he's also like this is what I was talking about. This is like a professional level painter, right? This
Oh
is
yeah, for sure.
yeah, this is not just this isn't next level. This is aeons beyond what I could do.
Yeah, actually, if I can jump into the let's see, we had this challenge video last week. So
Yeah.
some of the people here will have seen this already, but I think it's worth showing it again because it's really good. Let's see, go. Bear with me. Oh, sorry, it's in the other set. Come on. So we had this challenge last week where we had to finish something that we'd left unfinished for too long, and this is what Steve had come up with.
Okay. It's kind of fuzzy in our Zoom meeting, but it's clear in the stream, so I'm just waiting for it to pop up there. Let's see. Okay. I bet this was probably conventional brushwork too.
From
Yeah.
what he mentioned, he's layered on bits of paper and stuff on the robes to get that texture.
Oh, okay.
So
Man.
yeah, again, if you want to see unconventional but fantastic painting techniques, Steve Paintbrush is definitely one to watch.
Steve Paintbrush.
Steve's paintbrush. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, here.
Yeah, it's badass.
Okay. It's badass.
Very well done. Well done.
Okay. Cross from campaign terrain. Work in progress house.
There we go. Yeah, I've read a little bit about, or tried on YouTube, I can't remember, about why medieval buildings tend to have that upper floors stick out further than lower. And,
Texas.
about the real estate on the road.
Yeah, Texas.
But
It's
that look is something I've never tried to go after.
I really like the aesthetics of the overhangs, especially when you get uh, again, if you look at old towns in Europe and this side of the world.
Hmm.
Let's say that you start building up, and then your children live with you, so they build a small extension to the house, and it starts growing in this really crazy way.
Yeah.
And then, let's say, for example, one of your children marries the neighbor opposite.
Hmm.
So you build a bridge in between the two houses, and then you start keep adding stuff onto it. Houses tend to become
Oh,
this conglomeration of pieces, which they look super interesting, but they're also nightmares to plan to build because there was never any planning into them in the first place.
yeah. No code back then.
Oh yeah, that too. Okay, but Ross, I like where this is going.
Yeah, cool.
How do you feel about making terrain which with internal playable stuff?
Oh, again, like anything, if it floats your boat, do it. I haven't really found it particularly necessary. Uh, Maybe in the early goings it was intriguing, but having run, hundreds of games with terrain now and storage space, I don't know. I don't really go for it. That said, tomorrow I could wake up and decide to change my mind.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The,
I don't
the,
know.
one of the reasons I don't do it mainly is if I put something in a building and I put the roof on, I can guarantee that in 30 seconds I will have forgotten it's there.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort for something that, am I really going to reuse it?
I mean, you could use it. I mean, every time I noticed this playing Mordheim on Tabletop Simulator with some friends in Germany.
Hmm.
Every time I put someone in the inside the building, unless it's totally bombed out and you can see them clearly, I will always forget that they're there. Yeah, my
Yeah.
memory is not what it used to be. It's a nice texture going on there.
Yeah. I like that he's using wood too. Wood
Hmm.
paints up. Nothing looks more like wood than actual wood.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, also storage. Nice.
Yeah.
Ah, okay, so he didn't make it to be playable. It's to store stuff in. He's got a very good set of city blocks
Ah,
that he built in the same way.
that's clever.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I like it. Hi, Bumps. Say hi to the internet.
Let me bring up the. Hello. Hey. Hi.
I'll be out in just a few minutes, okay? We're almost done.
Okay, let's not keep it long. You're obviously required.
No problem.
Okay, let's see. Martin, Jamatra Spalpatelia, adding to his sci-fi collection. I think.
X's are hard.
I think.
X's are hard to cut without a jig.
Oh yeah. And I see that he's found these packages which are hexes themselves already. So yeah, that's really good.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, he still has to cut the hexes, but he's already got a solid base going on there.
Hmm.
Okay, and some details on the
Yeah, I love a sci-fi Greeble and pipes build.
yeah,
There's it never is not going to look good after you base coat it and wash it. You can't fail. You just can't.
yeah. I like that he's gone and added these textures as well.
Hmm.
Styrene pipes, more pipes, and straws, I guess.
No, those are that I have some up there. It's a toy,
All right.
popular toy. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, he's got a good spaceport, I guess, thing going on there.
Oh, I see how it goes together now. Yeah, sweet.
Yeah, Martin is also a fantastic builder, and one of the things he's really good at is texturing and graming up the his miniatures.
Hmm.
Doesn't have a YouTube channel, but you can find him on Pulp Atelier on Instagram.
Okay, cool.
Okay, Superfly Rob coming in with nice posters.
I'm trying to get scale here. It's a that looks like a table. So
I think this should be a 28 mil, if I'm not mistaken.
okay. Yeah, I wonder where I got the posters. I've been designing my own like in lore posters to use in my
Ah,
cyberpunk
nice.
terrain. But if there's a quicker, I would love to find some like pre-made quicker ones.
Uh, I'm not sure how these were made, but I think if you just go for any SVG images,
Hmm.
you can scale those down infinitely without any problems.
Yeah, right, right.
The problem, of course, is finding them.
Good chunking out of the concrete too.
Uh-huh. And the stains on the wall look fine.
Yeah, nice.
I think there's still some washes to go on top of this, but yeah, it's good work.
Yeah, I'm curious what it was for.
I forgot if it was for some either for Cyberpunk or for some modern, but it's definitely for an RPG. Well, let's see what
Okay.
the Raintronics is doing.
Oh, is that Arduino or Raspberry Pi or something else?
I think he works mostly with Arduino, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Oh, and Earthman Blick says there's plenty of free ones scaled to 28 millimeters on Drive to RPG. Speaking of the
Oh,
posters.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Didn't even think to check there. Okay.
Okay, David, you're definitely
Like
a
a
witch. We
puzzle
have
room.
to set fire to you. Sorry about that, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
puzzle room.
Tina Martins, the villa's almost finished. Oh, uh, she's building this for facts in. I,
Ah, there we go. I like seeing that.
I'm pretty sure these are printed out though.
Yeah, but still, like I said earlier, I have my books, then I saw your books, and now I see these
Yep.
books, and it's like this is also a great look, and I would like to switch to this.
I mean, they do have all that fine detail and stuff, so yeah, it does look
It would
different.
take longer, yeah,
Yeah.
but you get what you pay for.
Oh yeah,
You
for
put
sure,
in the time.
for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, Tina again. Tina's doesn't have a channel, but she's a spectacular builder.
Yeah, I recognize the name from the group.
Ah,
Pretty active. Yeah. Very nice.
this
Back
is
to
looking
basics.
really good, Tina.
Yeah.
Oh, and this. Oh, okay. This is the interior of the same building, I think.
Okay. Oh, look that black marble.
Yeah,
Yeah, rocking.
I like how the all the different rooms have different textures and colors.
Yeah, this is a lot of thought, a lot of pre-thought.
Okay, this is Earthman Bricks big shoot. I think I forgot.
Big shoota. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta take a grot and like glue a grot at the very end of the barrel like it's coming out.
Yeah, and one great thing about Earthman Bricks builds is that he strictly uses stuff that he finds on the street.
Oh, as a rule.
Apart
I
from
was
some,
able to chat with him the other night. I don't think that came up.
yeah, I mean not exclusively, but most of the stuff here is stuff he picked up off the street. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's another plus on his builds.
Cool.
Okay. So thanks everyone for sharing their work here. These are
Yeah.
looking really good.
Yeah. A lot of great stuff.
Okay, and William, thank you so much for being here. I know I have to go soon because duty calls, but thank you for sharing your time with us.
Yes,
It's been
sir.
a pleasure
Thank
talking
you
to you.
so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Loved
It
having you over.
has, yeah, likewise.
Okay, and
All right. Bye, everyone in the chat.
if you can send me the link to the Neon Skies Discord later, I'll just pop it in the comments. Okay. So
Gotcha. Okay, will do.
okay, thanks everyone in the chat. You have a great day or great afternoon now, I think.
Yeah, even in here. So
And
make things and play games.
yes. Okay, off we go. Bye, guys, and bye, William.